Okay, we're gonna do a quick how-to startup with Google Classroom. You can simply navigate to classroom.google.com. The way we have it set up here in our district, at least for elementary teachers, that it opens automatically on one of your startup tabs. But um, if you have closed down that tab, just type in classroom.google.com. Then it'll take you to your Google Classroom homepage. And it will then list all the classes that you either teach or are a part of. So to start a class, you're going to go to the plus button right here and click create class. Name it. Let's see, we'll call this practice classroom. And give it a second. And it will create you a classroom. So you have three tabs here. The stream, this is kind of like, think of it being like Facebook for your class. Here's where you will post your assignments. You'll post announcements, questions, a variety of things. Students can also post there as well. Again, what students do is up to you, and what they post is up to you. There's going to be some management involved, but practice makes perfect. The middle right here is your students tab. You can there's a couple of ways to get students in. There's what I think is the easy way. This code right here, which is the same for every. It's different for every class, but it'll stay the same unless you change it up here. Write that code on the board for students to see. When they go to Google Classroom, they'll click that same plus button you did to start the classroom, and for them it'll say join, and they'll type that code in, and then they're in. If you want to do all the work beforehand, you can go to invite, and you can pretty much send every student an email that has an invite link. They click on the link and they're in. So it's up to you. I prefer putting the code up, have the students do the work, because the invite does it's kind of tedious, but they work the same. The About tab is pretty much like your bulletin board you have on the walls, except it's a digital version. You can put a description of the class. So you can title it again here. You can put oops, I don't need to do that, but you can put maybe the room number. It shows you here that it's a link to your, with each Google Classroom that you create or a part of, it creates a companion calendar in your Google Calendar. So this will take you right to your calendar. Also, the same thing goes for as a folder in Google Drive. Here's where you add materials. If you post things a lot in the stream, the more things you post, the older items get pushed down to the bottom. If there's things that you want to go to often where you don't have to fish through the stream, you can click here, add materials, give it a title. You can attach things from your computer, from Google Drive. It can be a YouTube video. It can be a link to a website. Things that are kind of like posted on a bulletin board for easy access. You would put that here in the About tab. If there's another teacher that you need to work on this class with you, you can invite a couple teachers. Maybe it's your administrator would like to see what you're doing. You can add them, or if you have a long-term sub, invite them as well. There's a lot of things you can do. Right now, we're just going over the basics of what each one is. As we go back to the stream, click on the plus button right here. You can create an announcement, which can be, maybe think of like a 5-a-day or a warm-up, or it could even be an exit ticket. And when you share what your announcement is, whatever kind of prompt it is, it lists all the classrooms that you are in charge of. You can, if you want to use it for more than one class, you can check whichever classroom you'd like this to go to, so you don't have to recreate it over and over. That can be annoying. I'm going to close this out. An assignment is a little bit different. So we'll call this one practice assignment. You can change the due date to whatever day you want. Again, just like you can also check however many classes that you want to put this assignment in. And here's the cool thing. I like to do all my work here in Google Drive. If I have something on Word, I'll upload it to the Drive and convert it. Let's say I want every student to have a copy of one of these files here. Let's say I want them to have a copy of this spreadsheet. I'll add that as an attachment. Now here's where it gets cool. This is where Google Classroom will save you a lot of time at the copier. You don't have to go to the copier. this is your permissions button here. If I click here, make a copy for each student, it's like I gave every student their own copy of this document that has their name on it already. So instead of me passing out a paper with their name on it, it's going to be distributed to them digitally. And then I'm going to go and click on that. I'm going to click assign. It might take the more classes that you select for this assignment to go to, the longer it takes. If it's just one class, it goes pretty quickly. So I assigned it to 2 classes, so it took a second. So now it tells me how many students have done this assignment, how many have not done. This is a practice classroom, so obviously I don't have any students, but it would start off here as whatever that number is would be greater than this, and as students turn it in, you can see these numbers change in real time. So as it says here, every student gets a copy. If I want to see how the students are doing, I can open the assignment, and this is kind of what it would look like. It would be split right about here. You see a list of the students here where I can give them their scores and return their work. And here would show icons for each student's document on this side. And if I want to see what a student's doing right at this moment, if I want to see if they're working on it, what they're typing, I can click on it, and I have like a window onto their computer screen to see what they're doing. I can leave comments. I can call them up if I see some mistakes. Very useful. Right here's where I can change the points. So let's say I want to make it a 10-point assignment. There it goes, up to 10 points instead. So let's say, for example, I had all my students here. I've reviewed all their work here, give them their scores here. I click on download grades as a CSV file, which is a spreadsheet file, and it'll give me a report of how each student did, which can be imported into Illuminate, or you can just sit there and do it manually, whatever you think is easier. So overall, this has just been a basic of how to get a Google Classroom started. There's a lot more than meets the eye, but watch this video as many times as you need to go ahead and get started. Send me an email or hit me up on Google Hangouts if you have any questions. Hope this was helpful.